Hey guys, StarCraft here, and it's Christmas Eve, and I figured, well, I already did all the people I'm thankful for last year, and well, to be honest, that list really hasn't grown much. Well, okay, I will say this. There is one person I will definitely add to that list. No, two people I didn't specify in that list. And one of them is Unholyspork. She has become just as close of a friend and really have helped me out through so much. Okay, but that's three more. And now these are close friends. These are not, well, one is best friend, and that would be Ingrid, Zorial Diamond. Co-worker at work, you see me with at the movies, she has really gotten so close. You know, as a good friend, I mean. And yeah, I've helped her out. She's helped me out. Yeah, she just means a lot, you know. At work, we're able to help each other out whenever we can, and I couldn't ask for a better friend. And then, like I said, you have Unholy Spork and Dion Powell Jr. These are more than the closer friends. They've helped me a lot as well this past year. They are some of the few people I feel like I can talk to who are not biased, who are completely have nothing to do with this insane infighting going on that much. There are a few others who are, I consider, good friends as well, but those two, maybe even ComicPerch to a degree, but yeah, those are the ones that I definitely say I've become even better friends in this past year. That being said, that's not the topic of my video today. The topic of my video is back to the Star Wars with the sequel trilogy as a whole. And what could have been done to fix it? Yeah, I'm asking that question. But I got a couple of options I would have to say. One, a big one that's been on my mind lately especially is Rian Johnson should have been involved from the beginning. Now, hear me out on this, please. Rian Johnson should have been involved from the get-go and had a vision throughout it. He could have done the subversion. I don't think any of us would have liked it, but I think it would have been better to swallow if all three of these movies were doing it in his way from the get-go, as in he set up the plots, he then executed, and he had a conclusion. I think we would have been able to accept that a little bit better. We probably wouldn't be able to handle his politics, but if we start from the beginning, he would have had to, like even Abrams, had to set things up accordingly and under much stricter guidelines because, like Kathleen, he wouldn't have had free reign yet. Then, with the second movie, he would have set things up, played it out how he wanted to, but he would have known he would have done the ending. So I think he probably would have, even though he's constantly doing subversions, would have wanted to continue on into the third one, where he would have wrapped things up then. I personally believe that he did all this stuff because he felt he could, and he knew he wasn't going to stick around, and he wasn't going to stick around. Why else would he have just screwed everyone over, even though he knew damn well he wasn't leaving anything else left? Because he didn't care. Now, I wouldn't really want this. I'm just saying, if you wanted to keep a Rian Johnson vision, it should have been a complete vision. Or at the very least have him do the third one and see how he would have got himself out of it, but I think even he knew he wasn't going to do that. Next, and now, again, that's one of my least popular ones, but I think if they had to do it, it should have gone all the way, as opposed to appealing to the classical fans, subverting, and then going back to the classical fans again. There's the problem. Next is, well, fixing was what we already had. If you had to keep Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Johnson should have, back to him again, should have fixed it where Leia died and Luke was still alive. Maybe even keep Snoke or imply something greater about him. At the very least, if you kept those around, you could have, and I'm pretty sure Colin Trevorrow would have stuck around. He would have had played up more. You would have more to use, maybe keep more of the resistance, and then you could have gone forward from there. And I think episode 9 would have been at least a lot better for it. Maybe not the greatest, but a lot better than what we've got. Next, the complete overhaul. Now, I will say this. Force Awakens did set up a lot of good things. Rey wasn't a bad character. How many of us were willing to accept her, even to marry Sue as she was, because we thought Last Jedi would have expanded on her. Also, now, obviously the biggest fix would have been to at least have some scene with Luke, Han, and Leia still around. I know Harrison wanted to die. I get that. But come up with something. Maybe not have Luke be missing at all. Or maybe have it be that they do find Luke a lot sooner. But something like they meet up and something keeps them distracted. Or they meet up and they're ambushed and Luke's knocked out. Not dead, but knocked out. So we at least have a reunion. Then we have to have something take him off. Now, granted, that would have been stupid, but I'm trying to think of something that still works within the confines of what Force Awakens set up. This is without doing any, oh, they shouldn't have done it at all. No. If we keep the general idea of Force Awakens, which I still say was a good movie, if we keep the general idea of it intact, that's how I would do it. Leading into Last Jedi, which I feel should have been about expanding on everything. It could still keep dark. You can still have it be where the resistance is decimated, a la Empire Strikes Back. Kind of can't be helped there. But you still would have expanded a bit more, show the inner turmoil of Kylo Ren, show a bit more about Snoke, maybe not explain everything about him. I'm not saying they had to go with the son of Mortis, but that wouldn't have been a bad idea. But done something to expand him. Do more about Rey's inner turmoil. Now, as far as her parentage, that's not a requirement, but it does help to at least maybe reveal that she might not be one of the main Jedi. Maybe her parents were Jedis or her grandparents were Jedis, but they don't have to be it. Hell, if you had a tie to someone, you tie into Dooku or someone. But it doesn't, not Palpatine, it doesn't have to be a Solo or a Skywalker or anything like that. I think people were built up way too much for that. But build it up with something. Anything. But again, you can still have the devastation. Don't have it be a big chase. Have there been like a year that passed, just, instead of immediately after. Work from there. Expand. That was the whole point of what made Empire Strikes Back so good. And I know it feels like they're rehashing. I think you have to rehash it. You don't have to, because one, you wouldn't be having, in this case, a crotchety old Jedi Master. Because Luke would have been fresh. He would have been fine. You could still keep it, maybe have it be that the Jedi are still out there, that the Jedi Academy actually wasn't a failure. Get rid of that whole notion of Luke trying to kill Kylo. Maybe have it be that he really thought, and that Ben thought he was what he wasn't. Keep it that way. None of the subversion stuff. Rose, you could keep Rose, but I remember someone suggested to me, and I think it would have been a good one. Her sister died. What if that made her decide to become she was blinded by grief, and she decided to become betray everyone, or in that moment of weakness, did something that let it out because she figured, hey, if we surrender now, we can prevent others from dying. Something like that. I'm not saying make her a villain, but make her more sympathetic. And as opposed to preaching about anti-war stuff. The going to that casino planet never happens. Moving on. But again, by the end, you could have Snoke tempt Rey. You could have it be that Kylo does double down. Because Kylo, I'm torn on whether or not he ever should be redeemed or not. It's hard to say after what he did to Han, but you never know. Leia, no, Han still died in this one. Leia, I feel, should die here. I mean, obviously it was Carrie Fisher passing on. We got to take that into account. Yeah, I think Leia should have been set to die. If you had to kill each one of them off, I'd rather not. If you kept up with Han, it makes sense to go with Leia next, and then save Luke for the third movie. The third movie should have built everything up. Either Snoke is still the main bad guy, whoever's pulling his strings is the main bad guy, whatever. But it feels like it's an accumulation. None of this forcing all these plot points coming up with it. You've already set everything up. You then go on forward, and Rey can save the day. But again, she's more balanced, that's what I should say. Maybe find out about her parentage more so. We could at least hint off to it in a second when she finds out about it here and embraces her destiny, whatnot. She could redeem Ben, she could die to redeem Ben, and he takes over, whatever. Luke can die. He doesn't have to die, but he can die, so long as it's a big heroic moment. You could have all the Jedi still showing up. That feels a bit more fitting. Tying this in with the Sith obviously makes sense. But no Palpatine, obviously, but something else. Maybe the sun, maybe something else. Anything. Something from the unknown regions. Whatever. You can still have a big moment of everyone across the galaxy coming to help, etc., etc. Oh, I should also point out, obviously, Finn and Poe. Give them more to do. Finn, have it be he is a Jedi, but do set up, you tease it in the first movie, but then make it clear by Return of the Jedi that he's at least Force sensitive, kind of like how Leia was teased about it, and then by the third one, he is fully realized as a Jedi and is able to help Rey out. Poe, keep playing him up as the scoundrel, maybe give him a history with Han or something like that, and play it up, but don't make him such of a meathead idiot. Play it up instead, he's much like Han, he's that scoundrel, the heart of gold, who's trying to do best. Things like that. And then I think if they had done that, something that's been a bit more faithful, not trying to appeal to any other demographics, etc., people would have accepted that more. Those are my three options, my three opinions on things. And that's all I've got. Not much of a Christmas video, I know, but like I said, I think I did such a good job last year, I couldn't really think of anything that didn't end up repeating myself. So, or at least not before the end of the year. That won't be a different video altogether. So, have a happy holidays. Enjoy my video tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting one. And catch you guys later.